Hey guys, I figured I'd give you an update on the build. I finally got where I wanted it. Ran into a few little issues that I wasn't expecting. Just changing one part of this frame totally throws everything out. So I basically had to remount the bottom, remount the end, remount the readjust the bed because it was tilted in. But this setup does work, and it even clears the chain, as you can see. The only thing I'm going to have to do over here maybe is clear off, cut this out right here for the chain. It's kind of rubbing a little bit. But other than that, it works. I took it out before I bolted it here. You actually can run bolts through a frame. This is a solid steel frame, so it can take a little bit of abuse. But if you have to run bolts through, you recommended to use something like this, where it's just a smooth metal against the hole that you drilled. Don't use a threaded bolt. What I mean is, don't use something like this, where the threads all the way down, because as you're riding and there's any play there, it's basically gonna make that hole bigger and bigger. Versus these ones here, pretty much last forever. These bolts will never have to be adjusted, but I had to bolt them there because even when it was mounted here and mounted here, there was still, because of the geometry of the frame, like if I had cut this top tube off and mounted it here and up, then there wouldn't be swaying, but there was still swaying at this point here, even when it was mounted here, so there was still a little bit of play. So what I had to do, obviously I drilled holes through here, but it's also going through this bracket that's a hole like that on the end, so it's not going to slip out the bottom. And it was welded on the end too as well. So I drilled right through the frame. As you can see, it's bolted on each side, on each end. Nice and clean, and it's solid. I readjusted this and bolted it down. Then I had to readjust the back rack. Problem with that is it was way too short now because I changed the tilt. So this was down here and this was tilted like that. So as you can see, it's dead level. I usually like to make it a little unlevel. I like to tilt this up because over time everything settles. It's gonna go on level again. But I set it up so this is one piece of metal here that I can just take out and readjust. Cut a new piece. But this here is good enough. It doesn't have to be welded all the way across because it's only pushing down. It's welded over here and bolted, so it's fine. So we're just basically going to clean this weld up and give it a lick of paint on both sides. Other than that, it's good. This is solid, and obviously it's level. It's easy to carry up and down the stairs now. Dropped about a foot just doing that mod. I'll have to readjust the brake line. I still got some parts, so I can just cut the end off and redo it. Got the new grip on, or the new throttle. And I have some other stuff I want to play around with here, but I'll make another video on it. I picked this up. Check out how small this controller is. That thing is about almost the size of a matchbox. It's cute, actually. It's a 60 volt, 13 amp. We do a review on that, or take it apart and have a look at it. It came with this. It's usually used for a scooter, but I want to play around with it. I want to actually mod this to work with my bigger bike. Mind you, I'm going to take the throttle off of it. I just want the display, and we'll stick it right there. It'll look pretty good. Actually, give me a minute. I'll power it up so you can see the display. It actually looks pretty good. This is actually full color display, which I was surprised. I thought it would be cheaper than that. But like I said, I'm going to take the throttle off of it probably and use it for something else. Look at that, how cheap it is. The magnet for the throttle is literally on the back of the lever. So that means the hull is literally right there or down here. That's funny. No, I'm guessing it's up there because that's where it started on the top there and then worked its way down. Yep. And from going by the wiring harness, there's an extra 2 pins, so I'm guessing that's probably the throttle. But anyway, let's fire it up so you can see it. It's full color. Hoping I can mod it out and get it to work the way I want it. Like right now, it's giving me an error because of the battery. It's I got it running on 30 volts, and this is a 60 volt setup. So, but we're gonna pull this. We're gonna do another video, pull it apart, and trace it out, and see if we can't mod it for an e-bike. Obviously, I'm not going to use this controller, but it'll still be fun to set it up and play around with it. The size alone, like, I mean, it's as big as my thumb. It's puny. But that's how far I got. It's level, it's straight. It's as good as it's gonna get. And I can pick it up now, so. Later, guys.